Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you very much for joining us at the N4G Summit MAF Side Event Session 6. I'm going to serve as a moderator today. I am NIPPP Secretariat. My name is Kanamori. Very nice to meet you. First, I would like to explain about the goal of this session and also participate. The NJPPP was created based on health and medical strategy of government of Japan and promoted nutritious improvement project in developing countries such as workplace nutrition betterment. And also the GFBC Promotion PP Council, the organization to promote Japanese food industry going overseas, has been discussing how to create partnership with local stakeholders for sustainable development. The Japanese business leaders will be sharing their experience and also their achievements so far in this session, so that how we can really solve the problem of the region-specific challenges, and also how do we get access to the diversified approaches. So let me introduce today's speaker of NJPPP and also from the International Life Science Institute, Mr. Yasuhiko Toride. And also from Cambodia, the Mr. Sokshiro, the Secretary General of the Council of the Agriculture and Rural Development, and also Gramin Udiega, Joint Chief of the Executives at Mr. Yuko Satake, and also Mr. Takuji Yasukawa, and also Africa Business Press, Mr. Yutaka Hada. Thank you very much. All right, then without further ado, I'd like to ask Mr. Yamaguchi to take the floor.
So Mr. Yamaguchi and Mr. Toride will be explaining about the activities of NJPPP. Thank you very much, Ms. Kanamori, for the introduction. Please allow me to present my slide. As been introduced by Ms. Kanamori, in 2013 in London, the first nutrition summit was held. In 2012 in London, Olympic was actually held, and the Prime Minister Cameron said that the country who's hosting Olympics and Paralympics should also host the girls nutrition summit for girls. With the government agencies to proceed the project upheld by platform. So this is the overall structure of Nutrition Japan. And one of the great mission is to support developing and emerging countries and implement project. So we've been working on a project on this platform, and Mr. Toride, who is one of the important stakeholder in the project implementation, is going to offer us the explanation on the past activities. Thank you very much. I am from ILSI Japan, and I've been working with various partners to implement the program of NJPPP. One of the example is the workplace nutrition project in Indonesia. The hypothesis is as follows. At the workplace, we need to offer nutritionally balanced meal, and also we need to offer effective nutrition education. By taking these two approaches, we can make it positive behavioral change of workers. And we can achieve better health and nutrition of workers, which will ultimately lead to higher productivity of workers. So that's the basic assumption. In Indonesia, we work with the Japanese factories, which is Miyako Kyushoku. And we also work with the Bogor Agricultural University as well. on these pictures, we are showing how nutrition lessons were held. To your left, you see pictures of, traditional meal. So basically, they were all about fries, and a lot of salt, a lot of fat and oils were used. To your right, you see more of the Japanese food, which has lots of vegetables. So we are introduced a healthier menu to the factory workers. At ILSI Japan, we've been promoting the idea of Take 10. So we have 10 categories of food ingredients, and we are, promoting the balanced intake of all those 10 different types of food ingredients. So basically, we are upholding the diversity of the food ingredients that people take. Next slide, please. So these are some of the pictures. To your left top hand side, you see a picture of the meal provided and also on the Take 10 sheet. So in this case, 7 items out of 10 are offered in this meal. This is a comparison of the ordinary menu and healthy menu, and especially fat content is slightly reduced in healthy menu, and also net sodium level was also reduced in healthy menu. Take 10 check sheet approach. So we are, promoting the diversity of food ingredients, and we are showing before and after this intervention, the diversity of the food intake had significantly improved. Now, so that's the case for Indonesia. Now, this is another case in Cambodia. In Cambodia, we worked with Japanese company once again, and in the phase 2, we are introducing fortified rice, and also we introduced Take 10 check sheet and offer nutrition education. So you see how workers are, eating the meal provided at the factory. We see many female workers. This is fortified rice. As you see in the left picture, it contains with vitamin minerals, and it comes with the regular rice as well on a ratio of 1 to 200. And this is a summary. So by introducing fortified rice into the canteen, we were able to increase the serum folate concentration. Folate is extremely important for women's health. And by introducing fortified rice, this folate level increased. And also, the value of the absolute presenteeism, which is an indicator of motivation to work, was improved as a result of the introduction of fortified rice. So that was a phase 1 activity. And then in the phase 2, we were targeting at the same factory. So by using the smartphone, IT technology, we incentivized taking nutritionally balanced meals with an aim to change behavior of workers. This is a joint project between Rigilens and ILSI Japan. So we used Take 10 sheet to promote the diversity of the food ingredients. So in doing so, we used a smartphone and we offered token system so that workers can have fun in this learning process for food. And this is a summary paper created jointly with Ridgelines. There are 5 steps. Initially, we explained about Take 10 check sheet, and we talked about the importance of, intake of variety of food ingredients. And then next step, when eating meal at the factory, we asked workers to make a diary. And we encouraged them to take as many food ingredients as possible, like fish and meat and so on. And as a result, we offer them stamps. And by answering a nutrition quiz, you can get the coins, and then you can use coins to get incentives. So we introduced a gamification element. This is an example of the smartphone screen. To your left, you see 10, take 10 check sheet. So you got like 6 ingredients, and you input that, and then you answer the quiz, and you get the coin. In order to motivate people to use this system, we clearly presented the incentives so that people can actively participate in this initiative. And this is the result. One of the results, the weekly success rate for the nutritional quiz were up about 20% from the first 4 weeks. So people's knowledge toward nutrition was improved as a result. And this is my last slide. Based on these experiences, what are we going to do in the future? First of all, this time we were able to deepen the understanding for the nutrition amongst the workers. But we need to see whether that will lead to the behavioral change. So we need to gather data around this. And based on the data we gather, we will extend this approach to developing countries outside of Cambodia. And also, this system is about gathering health data and eating behavior. And based on those gathered data, we would like to offer more personalized advice on behavior change so that we can make a more effective nutritional intervention. And that's all.
Thank you very much, Mr. Yamaguchi and also Mr. Toride. So your activities in Indonesia and also Cambodia. So in session 5 in the morning, in the food cultures, in Southeast Asia, the people tends to eat a lot of rice against the very salty meals. So we really have to improve the balanced nutrition in the meals so that you can really improve the application and others to really promote a healthy lifestyle. Thank you very much. All right. Then the next one is about the double burden of the malnutrition in Southeast Asia. And the speaker is going to talk about the Cambodia's case. Dr. Toksiro, please. Please wait for a minute.
Good morning from Cambodia. You hear me? Yeah, my name is Soxilo. I'm Secretary General of the Council for Agricultural and Rural Development. I would like to thank the government of Japan for hosting the Tokyo Nutrition for Growth Summit 2021, and also thank to the NGPPP for inviting me to make a presentation on the need for collaboration with the local stakeholders to end all forms of malnutrition in Cambodia. This is my outline presentation. I will talk about the background, the nutrition sector, why we need collaboration, and the challenge, mechanism, and also key success and a way for cooperation, and the need for Japan government to support. The background, Council for Agricultural and Rural Development card is tasked by the Royal Government of Cambodia to coordinate, formulate, and implement the policy strategy related to agriculture, rural development, food security, and nutrition in Cambodia. CAD has developed several policy strategy guidelines and other related documents with aim to promote and engage multi-stakeholder in order to accelerate the Cambodian SDG by 2030, especially SDG 2, and hunger, achieve food security, improve nutrition, and promote sustainable agriculture. The nutrition sector in Cambodia, high prevalence of undernutrition, widespread of micronutrient deficiency, and rising overweight and obesity. 32% of children under 5 are stunting, and around 10% are wasting, and 2% is obesity and overweight. The Royal Government of Cambodia and development partner. The need for government and development partner to collaborate for food security and nutrition is well recognized and supported by a strong institution in Cambodia, including the Technical Working Group for Food Security and Nutrition, the Council for Agriculture, Rural Development, and the Sun Movement. We need to address the challenges of food security and nutrition via a twin-track approach of the second national strategy for food security and nutrition, with satellite activity and joint priority for cooperative action, that the satellite activity will coordinate and implement by line ministry, and the joint priority will coordinate by CARD. We need collaborating for the strengthening of the subnational and administration and community-led nutrition. We need to mobilize private sector to support for the food security and nutrition with the Sun Business Network. The cooperation between countries and between public and private sector for the Sun Business Network in different countries to cooperate. It is necessary to establish a framework at government level for a private sector to operate under. Japanese companies traditionally take a keen interest in employee health and well-being, and this can apply both in Japan and other countries where Japan invests. The private sector in Japan can work with governments in both countries to make a positive contribution to workers in a country like Cambodia. This is a true sense of partnership. For example, the approach has been tested in Cambodia under the NGPPP through the Workplace Meal Program for Nutrition Improvement. The NGPPP works with the Japanese government and can also support the cooperation between governments. This slide is about the challenge that we face in Cambodia. There is a limited implementation capacity. There is required the capacity building of an employer and employee, and also required an enforcement of regulation, and the lack of understanding in regarding of nutrition among the public, the lack of clear planning for improvement and example of best practice for public-private partnership for nutrition, the lack of communication for business facing intense international competition and aim for short-term profit. There are several mechanisms for government cooperation to support the private sector involvement through the trade facilitation and investment, the public-private partnership, the guideline and regulation, the communication network, strong research and innovation, promote and engage with private sector, the provide backstopping to private sector and small business, and also on innovation and technology. The factor for promoting successful collaboration between countries and public sector and private sector. We have a strong government-to-government relationship and trust, a clear understanding between countries, support by industry guidelines, exchange programs, and joint initiative and technical assistance. We have also a strong national and subnational multi-stakeholder platform. The local understanding on the part of the company and agency involved. Cambodia need help to build up the institution to support constructive engagement between domestic and foreign business. The way for cooperation. We need the engagement of the private sector into the Sun Business Network. We have to provide technical assistance to support private sector and SME. We also need to improve the Sun Business Network platform to cover the whole countries as well as to cooperate with the existing Sun Business Network in Asia region. We also need to promote the public-private partnership and promote also the digital platform in order to accelerate the cooperation of the PPP in the country as well as in the Asian region. We requirement for support from the Japan government. We need the Japan government to provide the technical and financial support for operating the SBN in Cambodia. And also we need to promote innovation and technology to accelerate the cooperation. We need Japan to assist SBN Cambodia to establish the community of practice on workforce nutrition. And also we need to engagement of the NGPPP into cooperation with the local stakeholder. The NGPP was identified as a potential partner for Sun Business Cambodia because of the previous project experience with the workforce nutrition. And we also need Japan government to invite the SBN Japan that could support Cambodian SBN by mobilize SBN Japan member to provide B2B support to SBN Cambodia member to support the transition toward more nutrition-centric business. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you very much, His Excellency Sok Silo. We were able to understand the situation in Cambodia and how PPP is in need and how Sun Business Network needs to be expanded further in Cambodia. I would like to ask for your input in the discussion later on. Thank you very much. Let me move on. Next, we are going to listen to Mr. Satake from Uglena for their activities in Bangladesh to